goes beyond myself. It is so much more than me. To overcome the tragedies, to survive the hardest times, to face those filled with pain, and still manage to be kind.
To fight for those who can't fight for themselves, to always share my light with those who wander in the dark, and to love with all my might. To stand up with courage, though standing on my own, to get up and face each day, even when I feel alone.
To try to understand the ones that no one cares to know, to make them put some value when the world has let them go. To be an anchor, strong and true, that little person to the end. To be a constant source of hope to my family and my ones.
To live a life of decency, to share my heart and soul, to always say I'm sorry when I harm both friend and foe, to be proud of whom I've tried to be in this life I chose to live, to make the most of every day by giving all I have to give.
To me, that's what this life should be. To me, that's what it's for. To take what God has given me and make it so much more. To live a life that matters, to be someone of great worth, to love and be loved in return, and make my mark on earth.
That was a great call. Now let's get ready for an amazing performance from our step team.
Would everyone please give a warm welcome to Ms. Shirley Payton?
Can you hear me? Thank you, thank you. What an honor to be here today. First of all, let's give everybody that performed, that did a poem before me, that came and did their best today. Let's give them a hand. We're on task on time, okay? So, and if I pretend like I don't see you, just say, okay. Thank you, Mrs. Elder, for inviting me once again. I did this about, I don't know, how many years ago? About 5 years ago, for the staff here at A&M Consolidated, because I understand that the history kind of got lost along the way, and that can happen at times. So, yes, I am part of the first integrated graduating class here at A&M Consolidated. I'm proud of that. We were at, our school was Lincoln School. So it was called Lincoln High because it was all one school. I'm sure some of us are older that have been in what's called one school. It was no elementary, it wasn't middle school. It was all just Lincoln High School. And it was in this community here, Parliament Drive. And part of it's still there now because it's a Lincoln Recreation Center that they've established for different events that go on all day long. Well, back in 1965, before school started, we had an opportunity to choose where we would like to finish our year. And we could choose A&M Consolidated or we could stay at Lincoln. Well, about 6 or 7 of us chose to come to Consolidated to see what that was all about. I live right across the street from the school. I was raised by my grandparents. My sister and I were raised by my grandparents, so I had the liberty of walking to school. But I couldn't walk to Consolidated, so we had to have someone to carry us there every day back and forth. Well, after we entered school in September of 1965, then shortly thereafter, maybe less than 2 months, Lincoln burned. So that meant that everybody that was at Lincoln actually came to Consolidated. We were afforded some opportunities. I was in choir and I did the typing class and participated in some of the contests that they had throughout the year. But our boys that played sports, they could not play any sport for the first year. Now, as I was thinking about that, I'm not really sure if that was true for everybody that was a new student. Perhaps not at that time. I think it was just because they wanted to fill us out and see what our students could do. And of course, our students were victorious, always. And so those were some of the, I would say, fallbacks or pullbacks from moving from one school to the next at that time, during that time of the year or during that time in the world. So when I say that, I'm always reminded of the differences back then and now. We had great teachers. They wanted the best for us. And so education was the key for everything. But now I see that you guys are doing things that will help you in all areas of your life. Not just, books, but you get to have a little fun, right? You get to be creative, right? You get to enjoy things that you get to see further than perhaps maybe what we saw, because you have more opportunities. yes, there may be more challenges, but there are more opportunities. So, I'm going to share a little bit about my 50 years of banking experience. I just recently retired in September, my second retirement from banking. So I was in it for over 50 years, so you can tell I must have enjoyed it. I was blessed by it, truly. I started out in banking here in Bryan, Texas. I think that was probably 69. I was the first black person in the lobby of a bank. Now, I say that and being the first in a lot of things in my life, but being the first is okay, but you don't want to be the only, right? You don't want to be the only one. You want to do things that's going to help uplift someone else to come along. So being the first, as I was the secretary to two of the loan officers at that bank in Bryan. Now, my desk was out front. Again, I think that was purpose positioning, let me say it like that, so that I could be seen and others could see me there. And I must say that, surprisingly so, I was there and for two loan officers. I was secretary to two loan officers. I was there for about 3 years. And then my late husband and I, we went on vacation. Well, he was in the military before then, and we moved back home. So that's when we were here, back in 1967. So we went to Dallas to visit some friends. And when we went to visit some friends, we went on vacation, we thought, oh, we like Dallas. So we got jobs. Now, for those of us who grew up in my era, you didn't quit a job unless you had another job. Am I right? Okay, so we went to Dallas, we got a job, we came back home, we quit our job, gave our 2 weeks notice, came back home, and then went to Dallas to work. Now, what I want to emphasize to you all today, to the young people today, again, being the first is not just okay if you don't want to be the only one. So I remember as I was sitting upstairs one day in the break room having lunch, and there was a conversation between an officer, let me say that, and a customer, and evidently they must be required to do who I was. And so the answer was, but we've only got one. So that, when those kinds of statements are made, it's not like, that's not like a proud moment for you, because we only got one. I want you to, in other words, it was like, don't worry, because there's only one here. So, but I want to emphasize certain things as I was in the workforce. Now, Mrs. Elder told me that what you guys are striving for this year is all in for success. All in. All in. And that requires a whole lot to be all in. You guys were all in that stepping routine, right? I mean, I didn't see anybody falter, I didn't see anybody make a misstep, because you guys were all in. So to be all in, you had to practice, you had to work at it, you had to think about it, and you had to not only think about it, your own steps, but the steps for others. Am I right? Okay, so the thing is, being the only or the first one, you want to be able to open doors for others and to be able to make sure that someone else can come in behind you. So she said that what you guys, the purpose for this year is that you guys are all by being all in for success. You want to create an atmosphere of positivity. You want to be there for each other. You want to make sure that everybody's doing the best that they can. So all in success looks differently in a whole lot of ways. You have to have a whole lot of different types of personalities, different gifts when it comes to your success. So I wanted to say this one thing about your moving forward. There are challenges, your character matters, there are changes in life, you have to be creative, confident, committed, courage, and then sometimes chance just makes its way in. I was watching, I watched Tamron Hall practically every morning. Did I mention I was retired? I mentioned that again for the second time around. So anyway, I get an opportunity to see TV that I don't get to see anymore, that I used to not see. So I was watching Tamron Hall, which I do that practically almost every morning. And so one morning, Method Man, and who's a rapper, and Kelly, I'm sorry, who's Roland, who's part of the Destiny Child, thank you. And they're in this show called Relationship Goals. And so Tamron asked Method Man, said, what is the attire that you like to see Kelly in as she shows up every day? Because on the set, she was just really, just dressed. And so I would say she was fly. Now that's maybe not the word that, what's the word that you guys use when somebody just really stand out, huh? I can hear you. Say again? Girls, what's the word that you guys use with somebody other than snatch? What's the word that you use? Huh? How you make people feel when you're around them, your confidence. I remember that. So, and did y'all know that Tamron Hall was a newscaster here in Bryan College Station? Did y'all know that? Because one morning I was watching it, and she said, oh, y'all should see my little apartment when I was a newscaster in College Station, Texas. I go, what? I knew she was from Luling, Texas. But she was here at one point in time in College Station. You see somebody nodding their head and they remember. Oh man, how awesome that is. So anyway, I'm going to keep it moving. Now, when we talk about challenges, your character changes, being creative. So I want to talk a little bit about chance. So when my husband and I, we moved back came back home, and we got a job here. I was at the bank, the first bank I ever worked at. Well, when we went on vacation and we moved to Dallas, that's chance. Okay, we just got up. We had no children. We got up and moved to Dallas. Sometimes you have to take a chance, right? And sometimes you may call it a risk. You may risk something to get to something better, or to something different, or something greater. So we took a chance. We moved to Dallas. Now, short-lived in Dallas. I went to work for a bank there for 3 years. And then we used to call on my mother every Sunday. My mother lived in Alaska at that time. She retired as a contract specialist for the government in Anchorage, Alaska. And so we would call her, and one day she said, well, why don't y'all just move up here? So we packed up all of our things in Dallas, and we moved to Alaska. Chance. So risk, or whatever you might want to call it. Again, all in for success. Now, let me say this. I thought about this as I was preparing, and I'm really going to try to hold it to my time. I was preparing was that I didn't look at it, ladies and guys, all of y'all out there, young people, as using the word success. I was just working and doing the best that I could, always. And I didn't I didn't label it success. I was doing good. My grandparents were proud of me, my mother was proud of me, my community was proud of me, because when I would come back home, they would, Shirley, how you doing? What do you do? Blah, blah, blah. But you can sum it up as being successful in a way. So we moved to Alaska, so I went to work for a bank there 11 years. I started out as a loan secretary. So that was back in the day when there was an Equal Employment Opportunity Act. So they came around to make sure that everybody that had a business, banking, a corporate business or whatever, that they were hiring minority, that they were hiring people, you know, giving everybody equal opportunity. Well, I worked at this bank and I was training in all different areas. I was a mortgage loan processor, I was installment loan secretary, I worked for the escrow department, I was operations. And so when the EEO officer came around to our bank, they asked the president, well, we want to see your roster of how many you have, you know, you've hired, blah, blah, blah. So he said, we've got one in the escrow department, we have one minority in the mortgage loan department, we have one in operations, we have one in the new accounts area, and guess who that was? Can y'all guess? Can y'all guess who that was? It was me. It was me. I didn't change my hairstyle. I had the same big afro all over, all different departments. I didn't change anything. You see what I'm saying? And so, again, I'm just doing my job. See what I'm saying? I'm just doing my job. And what I learned throughout my career in banking is that you show up your authentic self. There were times I was in a boardroom and I you know how sometimes people say, toot your own horn? And so I thought, well, you know, I see everybody else doing that. Maybe I should do that. But I thought, no, I'm gonna let my work stand for itself. But all the time that does not work. It does not, sometimes you do have to stand up, you have to say something. And so, but still, being your authentic self, always, being who you are, being who you were created, you were fearfully and wonderfully made, so being who you were created to be. So, I was there, and the first time, and I want to say this, I never applied for a higher level position. I never had to apply, never. My first, that your name will be in rooms, mentioned in rooms that you've never entered. Your name will be mentioned in rooms that you have never entered and that you may never enter. Remember that. So, how do you think that happens? Based on how you carry yourself now and continue throughout life, your confidence level, you're being courageous, you're being confident, you're just being everything that you know to be to get a job done your way. You understand what I'm saying? So, as I showed up every day, as I showed up my authentic self, as I showed up being who I was, what I want to say is that how it propelled others to mention my name. So my first level of being an officer at a bank was at the bank in Alaska. So, okay, man, okay, let me keep moving. And so, let me keep moving back. Okay, y'all, it is Black History Month, right? Okay, I'm Black, and at 78, I'm history. So, that I knew I was more than qualified for. A lot of us elders have heard that you're overly qualified. I knew I was overly qualified, but I had people in my corner, people that would speak my name and recommend me, and that happened continuously throughout my banking career until I retired last year, and for the second time in September I want to encourage you to always, and I'm going to share this last point, and it's going to be my last one. The Winter Olympics just finished, and Layla Ebb was the first black woman and gold medalist of the Team USA. She came USA National Ice Hockey Championship. She said, all I desire to do is to be remembered as a great woman doing good. And see, that's success within itself, right? And you guys are all headed in that direction. I'm very proud of you all. I thank you for the opportunity, and if I went over a little my time, I'm stepping down right now.
Good afternoon, I'm Kayla Thompson, and I would like to begin by thanking you all for coming to watch and support our Black History Month program. Such a wonderful event, but also a thank you also goes to Miss Shirley Payton for giving her time and wisdom to us and talking to us.
Okay, I do need to say one thing because I want you to know you can do anything. So my last banking career, I became vice president of a nationwide bank. Y'all know what a nationwide bank is? That means you can go anywhere in the world, and bank there. And I didn't apply for the job. I didn't apply for it. My name was in the room.